Okay, 2.0 is live, and I'm just starting the game today. Also because my Trailblaze power is full. Woo! The sound and the fury, long day's journey into night. Pom-Pom's calling us over. Oh, we have a Astral Express group chat. Oh, is it brand new? The map has extended over here. We will be going to Pinaconi shortly. Pure Fiction, Simulated Universe. Banners have dropped. Imbibitor Lunae and Black Swan. Nice, nice, nice. We have mail to claim. Plenty of Stellar Jades. Ooh, that's 5 pulls. Plenty of credits, nice. Oh, Fate's Atlas. Yeah, you can finally look throughout the story and see the progress of the Trailblaze mission. Oh, this is amazing. You can scroll through the arcs like the HooH Space Station, Universal Equilibrium. Oh, this is to upgrade your Trailblaze level. Today is yesterday's tomorrow, Crown of the Mundane and Divine. You can always do this. Since this is like a Genshin Impact Archon Quest interlude equivalent, you can always do this right after the blue arc on the HooH Space Station. So there's the Arillo 6 arc. Oh, there's quests available. Yeah, adventure missions. Oh, and you can go through this whole thing as well. So cool. There's even companion missions and adventure missions tied to these. It even continues as well. Either way, this is awesome. This is great. Jolted Awake from a Winter Dream. That is the 1.4? 1.4 Trailblaze Continuance mission? Because 1.5 was the Fixtural Garden. 1.6 was this one. Jianzhou Arc. Windswept Wanderlust, with knowing context between the war of Aeons between Lan the Hunt and Yaoshi the Abundance, how Tingyun and Phantilia come into play, Foxing Tale of the Hunted Trailblaze Continuance mission, post Phantilia Expulsion over here, and then it's the Pinaconi arc, the sound and the fury, and just gonna have to play to find out. So I can look at this anytime. Wonderful, wonderful. Nameless Honor has also been updated. So I am aiming towards this one. Speaking of Himiko and March 7th, we might see a shift in paths from March, but if not, I am getting Himiko will die vibes, or at least that's my prediction. Okay, so to continue the Trailblaze mission overall, the progression of the story, I have to check out this Astral Express family group chat.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Oh, I just finished a golden calyx, and you can get extra materials. Not just the credits that you intended to get or intended to farm, but also extra materials, instead of having to rely on certain assignments to get them. Ooh, events! Oh! Free 10 pull? Goats? honkaistarrail, the best gacha game I've ever played. Polyverse is so generous when it comes to honkaistarrail. Hey, free 10 pull. Ooh, long day's journey into night. A new journey is about to begin in Pinaconi, the planet of festivities. Enjoy your vacation in a gilded dream. Oh, I'm seeing very beautiful people right in front of me. Excluding Clocky here, but Clocky's just a cartoon character that we know as like some random entity. Dream Chaser Bulletin, this is the event, festival invitation. Join us in the grand feast at the planet of festivities. Invite your friends and experience thrills at the amusement park in Pinaconi. So I can customize my own ticket, and then once I get that completed, I can share my personal link and earn some Stellar Jades. Wait, is this permanent? I'm gonna choose Black Swan because I've been interested ever since the first Myriad Celestia trailer. I will keep this text, and I want the background to be... I like this one best. Oh! This is in-game too. I don't have to go to a web browser. I can just do it through the game. Aptitude Showcase, I can try all these characters. Sparkle Companion Mission, where Black Swan is involved. What is this? Starfire Essence? Oh, this is the new materials from Pinaconi that I can farm. Gift of Odyssey, claim a couple of warps every day. Dude, they came out with so much content. And that is my introduction to 2.0 so far, but that's not the point of this video. I'm actually going to go to the parlor car, specifically Dan Hung's room, and here we are. This video series that I wanted to start, it will be revolved around the databank. What you're about to see on screen is my plans to go throughout all of the databank lore, and for this episode we are going to start with Aeons and then move on down the list. So we have all of the Aeons. Let's get started with reading all of the databank lore. And I just wanted to get to know all of the information before heading into Pinaconi. This is going to be a relatively long video series, but I think understanding the philosophies of all these Aeons and factions and everything else from the databank is really important to me. And this is going to be my first time experiencing all of this. I have not read anything. I have not seen any spoilers concerning anything at all from the databank, so here we go. Aeons. People know very little about the mysterious existence that dwells in the vast stellar seas. With the limitation of knowledge, intelligent lifeforms can only faintly discern that Aeons tread upon paths imperceptible to mortal beings and execute unfathomable powers via some form of belief. In the end, the Aeons became an embodiment of highly condensed concepts of philosophy through the word of mouth spread of their legends. If anyone finds themselves treading on the path of an Aeon, they will be inundated by a distant sensation, like being struck by a gaze from light years across the cosmos. Many believe that this is the only connection the Aeons and mortals can ever have. Well, time to take notes again. So these Aeons are deities that possess powers that can shapeshift the universe. Aeons are deities that possess powers that can shapeshift the universe via concept of philosophy. If anyone finds themselves on a certain path, they'll be flooded by a sensation. They'll have an epiphany from the galaxy and stars above. Is it because the individual finds themselves on the path, or does the Aeon find interest in a person? Like, what I'm thinking is it one way or is it two ways? Like, for example, Trailblazer. The Trailblazer obtained a Stellron, obtained a conscience, but did they decide to tread on the path of destruction? Or because a Stellron was embedded in the main Trailblazer, that Nanook as well as Qlipoth took interest in this mortal. For example, if I were to connect myself with a certain path or a certain Aeon, do I shift my will and align my beliefs and my philosophies with that Aeon? Or when I'm pursuing a certain path, that a certain Aeon will take interest in me in taking me under their wing on this certain path, you know? Alright, next up, the Trailblaze, Akivili, from the very Astral Express crew that adopted us, and now we're family. The Trailblaze, Akivili. Countless shooting stars streak across the night sky. If you can pick the right one, it will carry your wish to thousands of distant worlds. Oh, I heard Black Swan quote that from the first Myriad Celestia trailer, from Fables Amongst the Stars, Part 1, Fables About the Stars by Adrian Spencer Smith. There are three directions on the compass of destiny: the unknown, the known, and the unknowable. They can tolerate the unknown, but will never bow to the unknowable. Akivili left the isolated world of Pagana and continued to expand the unknown edges of the universe, trying to find an endpoint of the Tree of Existence. Unfortunately, Akivili's destiny was abruptly ended due to an accident. Interesting. I don't know if this is a book or like a certain poetic piece by Adrian Spencer Smith. I'm gonna write that down. Based off of this quote, depending on the path you choose to take out of all of these stars in the sky, then this shooting star will grant your wish, or carry your wish to thousands of distant worlds. Then we have the potential to affect these distant worlds for good or in some type of way. The three directions on the compass of destiny: the unknown, the known, and the unknowable. And then they're talking about Akivili leaving Pagana to discover the entire galaxy, the entire universe, and spread their influence to all these countless other worlds. Oh, trying to find an endpoint of the Tree of Existence. What is this Tree of Existence you speak of? Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this too, or theorize this as well, but I think when you start up the game, when you see the logo of honkaistarrail, I think the planet behind the Astral Express is Pagana, because that's literally where the game starts, and we don't know what that world is. I assume it's Pagana, and since we are making a round trip throughout the whole entire universe, you know, the same expedition that Akivili left, the same that Akivili left on to find the endpoint of the Tree of Existence. Okay, I assume that's that planet, but Akivili's destiny was abruptly ended due to an accident. Akivili's destiny? Like, the Aeon is dead? Or is the path dead? Or does that mean the same thing? I wonder what this accident may have been. Might be connected to the Stellar Hunters, might be connected to other Aeons that were involved, maybe an Aeon war that we don't know of yet, Amber eras ago. Also related entries: Astral Express, nameless, and interstellar travel. I'm assuming all of these are terms to be read in the term section of the databank. Next up, Nanook the Destruction, the first Aeon we see in the game, and the first path we have aligned our wills with. Nanook the Destruction. If the increase of entropy is a fundamental law of the universe, then the heat death would be the inescapable destiny of the material world. So why is it that we bother to struggle to survive? Expansion, fusion, and then annihilation. If we wish to welcome the new, then we must first embrace the end. Quote from a scientist just before pressing the button for nuclear detonation in 2152 AE? Huh? Anyway, the birth of the universe is a mistake. If civilization is a cancer emerging quietly from the boundless stars, then war is the only common language known to all intelligent life. To correct this mistake and to clean up this tainted universe, Nanook became the avatar of entropy. Entropy, lack of order or predictability, gradual decline into disorder. I wonder when this event took place. It just says the year, or the Amber Era, that this has taken place. I wonder from what type of event. Heat death would be the inescapable destiny of the material world. It's like this scientist is very pessimistic about the beauty of life and the nature of mortal beings in the known cosmos. Like, see here, why is it that we bother to struggle to survive? Like, what's the point of living if we're just gonna struggle? This scientist believes in the cycle of life and death. As said here, if we wish to welcome the new, we must first embrace the end. I wrote in my notes, believes in the cycle of life and death. What's the point of living if we are to struggle? And then down here, birth of the universe is a mistake. If there's different civilizations and different people having different philosophies and different beliefs of the way of life, then they default to war. So I guess what Nanook wants is like the disintegration and the downward spiral of order. Related entries, the Antimatter Legion, and the Annihilation Gang. Funny, we're gonna meet them in Pinacone. Next up, Lan the Hunt. With no end to hate and no boundaries to war, how much concern do you shoulder? With determined eyes and the arrow drawn, the Rainbow Arbiter needs not turn back hither from the world's history as a mirror from the Xianzhou. The Aeon known as the Rainbow Arbiter wanders endlessly between worlds to destroy the undead beings that once poisoned their homeworld. The cost of the hunt was never a consideration for Lan. There is often no difference between the salvation they offer and total destruction. Reading this entry made me remember the conflict between Lan the Hunt and how Yaoshi the Abundance affected Lan's followers, you know, the people of the Xianzhou, as well as how the denizens of Abundance came into play on sneaking in a Stellaron on the Xianzhou. You know, anything to get Yaoshi the Abundance to quote-unquote heal the people of the Xianzhou, ultimately affecting them, becoming Mara-struck. Overall, it was just not a good time. Lan took that offense and is like, no matter what, Yaoshi's dead. Yaoshi will be hunted down until the end of time, until they are destroyed. So based off of this quote from World's History as a Mirror, it seems Lan the Hunt is very determined to not only destroy any perpetrators that threaten their people, but also Lan is making themselves to be an Aeon that is not to be trifled with, and Yaoshi blessing the people of the Xianzhou. They ultimately screwed up, and Lan's like, well, I'll never forget this. You're gonna have to pay the price with your life, or with your existence, basically. And as said here, the hunt was never a consideration for Lan. Related entries, Yaoshi the Abundance, Xianzhou Alliance, The Hunt, and Galaxy Rangers, The Hunt. That is my first time reading that the Galaxy Rangers are like a subcategory or followers of Lan the Hunt. Next, Nous the Erudition. If the truth of the universe is cruel and stale, would you still yearn for the answer to the ultimate question? Knowledge seekers know not how to judge, for their core is cold and unwavering, as are the ends of paths they set out to seek. Another quote from Fables About the Stars by Adrian Spencer Smith. When am I going to read this book? All things bear unanswered questions, and there is an answer to everything. The astral computer, originally meant to provide answers to the universe, ascended to Aeonhood. Nous hopes to understand the universe and solve all of its mysteries. So Nous has a search and a yearning for answers and truth to the universe and every question known to man, I guess. Knowledge seekers know not how to judge, for their core is cold and unwavering. So what, these people, these followers, just look at the cold, hard facts and they don't care about their own feelings? Because I think feelings come into play when it comes to judgment, but when it comes to knowledge seekers, they're only looking at the facts. Huh. Related entries. Genius Society, already knew that. And the Intelligentsia Guild. This makes me think of the confrontation between Dr. Ratio and Screwlum from last patch. I wonder if there's any conflict between the Genius Society and the Intelligentsia Guild. Both terms consisting of some type of smart term in the name, but both follow Nous. So is there like a characteristic or belief that differentiates or separates the two? I think we'll go to Qlipoth the Harmony last, since I'm going over all of this stuff before I do any Pinaconi 2.0 content. So we're going to skip Qlipoth the Harmony for now and move on to Ix the Nihility. You may gaze deep into the vast grandeur of the stars, but do not glance at the abyss of the void, for it holds nothing except for the ability to make mortals lose all reason and thought. From Barong, the Doctor of Chaos. The existence of Nihility is a mystery itself, their form enshrouded by layers of mist. Ix doesn't interact with the other Aeons. They believe that the ultimate fate of the multiverse is nothingness, and therefore worthless. I don't know how to feel about that. If you gaze into the abyss stares back. Because we saw from the first Myriad Celestia trailer that Ix is just a whole bubble of dark mist with eyes. In my opinion, space is a relatively scary place. And for Morong, the Doctor of Chaos, to have this quote here makes me think of like a scenario where someone is stranded in deep space. Nothing but either darkness or countless stars and no life for light years away can make someone lose all reason and thought. So Ix is a mystery surrounded by layers of mist and has eyes and doesn't interact with the other Aeons. And they believe that the whole multiverse universe is worthless. Literally, L, don't care, didn't ask. It's like the same type of perspective as Nanook the Destruction, kinda. But what intrigues me from this index is doesn't interact with the other Aeons. That makes me wonder how other Aeons can interact with each other. The only instance I can think of is between Lan the Hunt and Long the Permanence, you know, defending against Yaoshi the Abundance. That's the only scenario that I can think of. Oh, there's also the, you know, with the swarm disaster, Tayzyrronth the Propagation, like mass multiplying throughout the universe, which got the rest of the Aeons' attention and them working together in quelling the influence of the potential takeover of the universe from Tayzyrronth. So all of the Aeons combined their powers to stop Tayzyrronth in their tracks. I hope we get to see more interactions between certain Aeons. Maybe we might find that out between how Akivili disappeared or Idrila the Beauty. All these mysteries have to be uncovered some way or another, and I'm staying to find out. I also find it interesting that there's no related entries to Ix the Nihility. No known factions or terms are related to Ix. Quite scary and mysterious. Next, Qlipoth the Preservation. The philosopher gazes upon the stars, trying to find the ultimate goal of civilization. Build a wall. A majestic voice echoed in his head. Build a wall. Donald Trump. We are going to build a wall. Again, Fables About the Stars by Adrian Spencer Smith. If this book is mentioned multiple times, like not even once or twice, it's 3 times now, this book has to be important. The builder of the celestial comet wall, the subspace crystalline barrier, and the great attractor base. Followers call them the Amber Lord, one of the oldest and most tenacious Aeons. Having survived the Dusk Wars, aware of the imminence of their mortal enemies devouring, the Amber Lord forged a powerful light-years-long seal that would isolate and protect the living worlds. So basically, Qlipoth is carrying the preservation of the universe on their shoulders. No pun intended. Qlipoth is actually the goat of protecting life in all these worlds and planets and civilizations from any danger. I wonder if we're going to see any intergalactic picture of all the things that Qlipoth made. You know, a comet wall, a space barrier, and an attractor base. Maybe we might get some information out of the IPC about this. Maybe this is an actual base we can teleport to in the future. Qlipoth is one of the oldest and most tenacious Aeons, also survived the Dusk Wars. Again, theory, this might have to do with other Aeons, however many Amber Eras that was long ago. And Qlipoth is determined to protect the living worlds. Qlipoth, the actual GOAT. Related entries, the IPC, and the Architects. We learned about the Architects somewhat during the Trailblaze mission in Oroboros 6, and also a tiny bit more during the Trailblaze Continuance mission with Topaz. But I'm sure we'll know more about that as we read the completed books from the library as well. Next, Yaoshi the Abundance. The flowers share their petals without care, waiting for their inevitable withering destiny. The birds fly high in song, moving toward their inevitable crash and death. The streams flow rapidly with life in a direction where they inevitably run dry. Why must all things come to an end? There must be a miracle somewhere in the universe that can cure the disease known as finality. Life is too short by Anonymous. Ask with feeling and you shall receive. Yaoshi is the nurturer of lives, the god of eternal paradise. Their desire is to ensure the perpetual existence of life. Yaoshi is an Aeon who answers all prayers and cannot bear to see death and the pains of illness. Wow, how ironic. We know exactly what happened from Yaoshi's influence on the people of the Xianzhou. You know, immortality does come at a price. And for the people of Xianzhou, sadly, we see that as they were affected by the Ambrosial Arbor. Yeah, the effects of the Stellaron and the Ambrosial Arbor, making the people of the Xianzhou Mara-struck, their immortality come at a cost of, like, their emotions, their personality, their sanity. I get Yaoshi does have some good intentions of, like, wanting their people and wanting their followers to live in everlasting happiness and joy, but the way they go about it isn't right. It's not all that great. The statement towards the end here, there must be a miracle somewhere in the universe that can cure the disease known as finality. I recall the first Myriad Celestia trailer where they showed, I think they showed the finality. If not, then I could be completely wrong, but the finality I think was shown right after Shipe the Harmony. They showed all of the other Aeons like the Equilibrium, the Voracity. I don't know if the finality was mentioned, but for this anonymous person to write this passage that's called Life is Too Short, not wanting death to be imminent for mortals, I mean, clearly explains or clearly portrays that they're a follower of Yaoshi the Abundance, possibly. All in all, Yaoshi's good. I mean, Abundance characters are great, but not in the way that Yaoshi sees it to be. Related entries. Denizens of Abundance. The war just doesn't stop, does it? Okay, I think those are the main Aeons, except for Shibe the Harmony, because we're gonna go through 2.0 stuff afterwards. But I think the Voracity, Elation, Remembrance, Beauty, Propagation, Enigmata, and the Equilibrium are other Aeons that we don't really know of yet, or hasn't really been very apparent or a very strong influence in the current Trailblaze story until 2.0, where they include a follower of HooH the Elation, you know, Sparkle being a masked fool, as well as Black Swan, who is a part of the Garden of Recollection, who follow Fuli the Remembrance, as well as Idrila the Beauty, you know, because Argenti was randomly mentioned, you know, randomly included in version 1.5. Tayzyrronth, basically a whole antagonistic Aeon that was set on taking over the entire universe with its existence, and the Equilibrium, I guess, to increase or strengthen our world level, basically. Not much from the Voracity or Enigmata. Alright, Oroboros the Voracity. Insects are to birds as hares are to wolves. The stars are to the black hole as the worlds are to the Voracity. World's history as a mirror again from the Xianzhou. What, is the Voracity a black hole to these worlds? Just gonna consume them into freaking nothingness? Goodness sake. The drinker of worlds, the unsatisfied devourer, the black hole with thought. They are an Aeon and a Leviathan at the same time. In the eyes of Oroboros, life is a flickering fragment floating in the sea of void, destined to return to the darkness along with the stars which birthed them. This darkness is within the depths of their mouths. Holy. And just when I thought Tayzyrronth the Propagation was a threat to the universe, Oroboros, based off of this entry, is a whole universal extinction type of threat. Oroboros makes IX look nice. Look better even. I'm just gonna write here, Oroboros is a devourer of worlds and conscientiously desires the extinction of the universe. Is that a good way of summing it up? Oroboros is an Aeon that's basically a black hole, just ready to consume any world, any life, any star, and then turn that thing into nothingness. And again, same with IX the Nihility. No related entries. Scary that these Aeons have these types of philosophies. Ones that, you know, we could disagree with, and ones like freaking Oroboros that is just ready to wipe everything out of existence. Gosh, that's terrifying. Next up, HooH the Elation. Here we go. The Erudition is a hunk of junk. The Preservation is a fool. The Hunt has no sense of humor. And the Destruction is a lunatic. All the Aeons are as stubborn as they come. What a shame for HooH. A masked fool who is a self-proclaimed astronomy expert. Self-proclaimed. You'll love to see those. What, you got Acheron, a self-proclaimed galaxy ranger. You got Luocha, a self-proclaimed merchant on the Xianzhou traveling throughout distant worlds. And then Sampo, a self-proclaimed not sussy baka. The elated one understands that only the wise and the sentient possess the privilege of understanding joy. Neither the dusty rocks nor the distant stars can fathom the humor that life entails. A quest for formidable adversaries in games of strategy and activities to while away the time bears no winners or losers. Instead, a search for the kind of laughter that leaves one breathless will lead to the unexpected delights that uplift the soul toward divinity. Based off of this quote, it seems this masked fool is simply just like a spectator or a bystander, just witnessing the actions and making fun of the philosophies of these other Aeons. I can agree with some, but a majority of this I can just disagree with. So I assume from the description right here, HooH, literally in the name, wants themselves and their people to just eat, drink, and be merry, you know, have a good time, laugh until your stomach hurts or until you start crying, as long as they feel happy and satisfied at the end of the Amber Era. HooH the Elation will always continue to exist, basically. Related, masked fools, and mourning actors. A couple more Aeons left. Alright, Fuli, what do you got for us? Fuli the Remembrance. Time, the hardest working thief in the world. It keeps stealing away our present from us and tossing it away in a warehouse named memory. Some are addicted to recuperating their losses. Others care not in the slightest. Again, by Life is Too Short by Anonymous. The same passage as with the one from Yaoshi the Abundance, I believe. I kinda agree with this philosophy, this statement here. We use our time to invest in certain things, but if we deem that time as wasted in such an investment or in such a thing that we put time and effort in, sometimes it leaves us in the past in a sort of way. Some are wanting to recuperate their losses. You know, it's just a perspective thing. Recuperating their losses, aka trying to be better, caring not, is just like not changing, not growing. In that aspect, I think it's a matter of perspective. The purest memory in existence is the most tolerant. It records everything without disgust or preference. It selflessly preserves every fact and every enchanting gesture. It is a river formed from continuous life, a treasure built up out of eternal wisdom. Fuli is the fish that swims back upstream. Fuli is the key to this treasure vault. They sit in the center of the sanctuary, silently watching as the world tirelessly repeat the same mistakes over and again. So memories are facts, and if we choose to, we can let those memories become wisdom. And if we are aligned with Fuli the Remembrance, then we have access to these memories. But at the same time, Fuli is just sitting back and watching us make the same mistake over and over again. No idea how Fuli feels about this, but I think their philosophy still stands. Related entries, Garden of Recollection, and the Cremators. I don't think we've ever met a cremator in-game before, but hopefully soon in the future. Hopefully. Idrila the Beauty. Alright, Argenti, what do you got for us? There's beauty in a stretch of fabric, in the lines of a poem, and in a few notes in a song. Welcome to an era where the idea of beauty is absolutely worthless. How vulgar, how hopeless, how sad. From the Fashion Guide of the Cosmos Chief Editor, Michelin von Tarantino. Idrila witnessed the ultimate meaning of the world's existence through the ever-changing view of the universe, known to the rest as the concept of beauty. The Aeon of Beauty suddenly vanished one day. It was just as mysterious as when they first appeared. This last statement intrigues me. It's a mystery how Idrila appeared, and it's also a mystery how Idrila disappeared. But when they did exist, they witnessed the ultimate meaning of the world's existence through changing concept of the universe known as beauty. I think by the time at least like one person or a group of people acknowledged beauty as like a character trait or an eternal concept, I think slowly Idrila existed. But I think as people disbelieved in such a concept, Idrila slowly faded away. So I think we haven't met any other Knight of Beauty except for Argenti. He's basically one of the only people upholding the belief in Idrila the Beauty and the worship of that Aeon. Related entries, Mirror Holders, and Knights of Beauty. Another faction of people we haven't met with. I just want to meet one of these people that are affiliated with these factions so that we can see why they still believe and worship a certain Aeon. Tayzyrronth the Propagation. Hurry and shut your doors and windows if shadows appear at the noontide horizon, for that is no early dusk but the hungering swarm. And again, Fables About the Stars by Adrian Spencer Smith. Tayzyrronth, also known as the Imperator Insectorum, the Sand King, and the creator of the Swarm Disaster. Yeah, we pretty much learned of this when playing the Swarm Disaster in the simulated universe. As the last member of the Qlipoth that rules the land, their path was ignited out of a desire born from loneliness. Tayzyrronth metamorphosed into a self-duplicating horror, a torrent of infinite propagation. Tayzyrronths, that's plural, fluttered across the worlds until their advances were halted by fate in some way. AKA, all the Aeons stepped in and was like, hey, you're stepping in on our turf, and you look pretty dangerous, and we don't like what you're doing, so we're gonna have to stop you. Last member of the Qlipoth. So the beginning of their existence was out of loneliness. And that trait alone made Tayzyrronth metamorphosize into a self-duplicating horror that ultimately spread its way throughout the freaking universe. It just goes to show how powerful loneliness can freaking be. And related entries, The Swarm. Mythus the Enigmata. To stop questioning is to ask pouring rain to relinquish its faith in the glittering stars. Open yourself to the roaring river of metaphors, and you will find truth awaits, hiding at the end of the night sky, in the swirling rosy storm of a bygone age. From Sharon Layton, Galactic Laureate Poet. Self-proclaimed. Bro, I don't understand these freaking self-proclaimed people. Why are they proclaiming themselves to be this, when we have no evidence that they are that, you know? Acheron, Loacha, Sampo. It is a fallacy that all things can be experienced and recognized. The living seek to produce prophecies of the unknown based on their limited grasp of order, but little do they know that the universe has no end, and that the truth is but a fevered dream. To prevent the certainty that erudition brought about from destroying the possibilities championed by Mythus conjured the fog of thought and the rain of sensation to reveal to the mortals the inexplicable truth through the four agents: morph, screen, riddle, and mirage. This whole entry seems freaking encryptic, not as subtly mysterious as IX or Oroboros, kinda. I mean, at least these other Aeons make it clear what their philosophy is. But it's either I'm dumb and not really understanding Mythus the Enigmata, or they're blatantly trying to make Mythus the Enigmata vague and mysterious to prevent the certainty that Erudition brought about from destroying the possibilities championed by Mythus. Okay, I read this whole thing again. The only thing that I can conjure up in terms of understanding or a theory is Mythus is all about like the senses, like trying to connect senses and thoughts together, or at least from the second paragraph. I don't know, to me, the philosophy of this Aeon is a bit unclear. Honestly, leave your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I am open to conversation and discussion about these Aeons and honkaistarrail lore. If I completely miss the point or misunderstand something that is like clear as day, then please say so in the comments, because I don't know, I'm just a bit dumb. It's also like 1:30 in the morning at the time of this recording, so I'm just exhausted. Related entries: history fictionologists and the riddlers. And last but not least, HooH the Equilibrium. Who? Asked, cared, knows. I find it intriguing that the first and the last H in the name is capitalized. Who? More like, HooH the Equilibrium. I stole away the golden weights and felt proud of the ripples stirred up. The Aeon always sees right through my tricks, and the stars reset the balance to 0. Fables about the stars again. The chain of karma that mortals obsess over is nothing but a rough approximation of the complicated topology behind all things. Who dissolved their will into the web of logic behind the universe's moment, maintaining the balance and stability of all things in perpetuity. Adventurous mortals tirelessly seek out flaws in this system, believing their intellect to be superior to that of an Aeon. However, little could they imagine that they have already been reduced to strings inside a surveillance system, unable to escape the meticulous network woven by HooH. From what I understand, no matter what mortals try to do, and in this case trying to outsmart an Aeon, they're literally not going to, because they're playing into HooH's woven system. I think HooH the Equilibrium is trying to test how mortals can connect theory, logic, and intellect. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from this description here. I don't know which Aeon would be the strongest, quote unquote strongest, or like has the most influence upon these people, upon the universe and its living beings. But to me, I think the Equilibrium is over all of these other Aeons, because I don't know if there's like a power ranking system. I'm not really getting the vibe of, oh, there's a strongest or a weakest Aeon. But I think with all of these Aeons existing, them and their followers are all working accordingly, I guess you could say. They're just living their life, trying to follow whatever philosophy or whatever belief that they decide to follow. But to me, I feel like the Equilibrium kind of has eyes, or as seen here, surveillance over all of these Aeons and all of these beings. Related entries: arbitrators and the imaginary tree. Hold up, I've only heard this imaginary tree theory as many times as I can count on my hand. But isn't this like imaginary tree theory like the HooH verse, you know, where each leaf on this tree is a single universe, or in this case, a game. Like Genshin Impact is a universe, Honkai Impact 3rd is a universe, Zenless Zone Zero, honkaistarrail, Tears of Themis, and I think that's only scratching the surface of the imaginary tree theory. At least that's what it is to me. But holy cow, this is a long video. Just went over Aeon lore. Holy cow. There's some Aeons that we already know about, others I didn't know about. Some Aeons descriptions I like, and some of them are surprisingly really scary, aka Oroboros. I hope we don't encounter that Aeon in the future, as well as IX. Goodness. I love learning the in-depth lore. I love knowing about, first off, the deities that are in control of this whole universe in honkaistarrail. And I think next up we are going to go over the factions that follow all of these Aeons. We're starting big on a universal scale, I guess you could say, and then we're gonna work our way down all the way to like enemies and light cones. Very insignificantly small. So we're getting the big fish out of the way. I like learning about these Aeons, and I hope you did too, as this was was a first experience for me. Part 2 will be about factions, so hope you guys stick around for that. Let me know some of your guys' theories, let me know some of your thoughts, and I can't wait to have a discussion with you guys about this Aeon lore. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe and stay awesome. Stay tuned for part 2. Have a good one.